So I heard you wanted to make text flicker, right? Let's get started. We are going over my top 3 favorite flicker techniques within After Effects. They're very simple and you can use them today. So the font I'm using is Hanson, which I will definitely have a link below for you guys to download. But this technique works regardless of the font you use. So go ahead and follow along. These are the examples we'll be using. We'll begin with the character flicker. We'll create our composition, 1920 by 1080, 30 frames per second, and I guess we'll set the duration to 5 seconds. I'm going to create a solid for the background using Control Y. I'm just going to do a dark gray solid and I think that'll be fine. Now, select your text tool by pressing Control T. Make sure you're under the horizontal text and not the vertical. After that, you can modify your text with the character menu. You can either have text without fill or you can use fill. This is purely personal preference. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of P's. Now, drop down your text layer. Select the arrow beside Animate to display the animators. We're going to select Opacity. This should create a range selector and a new opacity property. Set the opacity to 0 because that is where we're starting. Drop down the range selector. This is where the flicker will begin. The range selector is telling the property which section of letters to animate. The start would be before the F and the end would be after the R. You can see the guidelines that it shows you on the side of the text when you highlight the selector. We're going to use the offset. The offset uses both guidelines to animate your opacity. When I move the offset, you can see that the guidelines change depending on the direction I move the numbers. Negative is backwards, positive is forward. Set an offset keyframe at the beginning of the layer starting at 0, which is invisible. We will go 15 frames forward. You can see the frame numbers near the top. Another way to move through frames is using page down or page up to move 1 frame forward or backward. You can also shift page down or up to move 10 frames forward or backward as well. Keyframe the offset to 100%. Your text should now be fully visible. And you should have this fade animation here. That's cool. Now, let's randomize that fade. Below the offset, you will see the Advanced tab. Click that and scroll down until you see Randomize Order and turn on Randomize Order. This will give you this effect. You can simply end the animation here, but I believe that the seed property adds more flair. So keyframe the seed property at 0% at the beginning of the layer, and then keyframe it at 10 at 15 frames. This is similar to the offset. What this does is randomize the flicker every single frame, which makes the animation more dynamic. You can see the difference here. Alright, congratulations, you have created the flicker animation, and it's time for the next animation, word flicker. This one is simple but powerful. All you are doing is animating the opacity keyframes. Set up your composition like before with the same settings. Create the text to your liking. And then select your text layer and press T. This will isolate the opacity property so you can animate it. It's cool, right? Keyframe the beginning at 0 and go forward 2 frames. This is usually where I use the page down shortcut because I only have to press it twice. Then I set the next keyframe to 100%. And then here comes the easy part. Left click and drag over both of the keyframes and use Control C to copy them. Go 1 frame after the second keyframe and paste it. Then repeat this for however long you want the text to flicker. I usually have between 3 and 5 flickers in total. The sweet spot is 4 for most instances for me, but ultimately it depends on your reason for using the effect. So guess what? You're done with the word flicker. Crazy, right? Now, it's time for the next animation. We call this the stroke flicker. I call this the stroke flicker. I don't know who we is, unless I've developed Shadow Clone Jutsu. Since I've explained the other two, character flicker and word flicker, this one is fairly simple. Matter of fact, you can transform the word flicker into a stroke flicker, so let's make that happen. Duplicate your text layer. Now you have 2 opacity animations. Offset the one you duplicated by around 5 frames, so basically move that layer 5 frames forward. Now select your original text layer on the bottom and then go to your character window in After Effects. By default, it should be on the right side of the screen where you have your align and libraries and effects and presets. But if you can't find it, press Control 6 or Command 6 to reveal it. If that doesn't work somehow, go up to the window drop down near the top toolbar and select character if it's not highlighted. Now look beside the eyedropper tool. We have a box that is filled, which is our current text color, and then the box below it with a line across it, that's our stroke color. This red line signifies that it's transparent. Our goal is now to reverse this, to have a transparent fill and a visible stroke. You should see an arrow to the top right of those boxes. Click that and you will swap the fill. For stroke width, I use 3, but you can use any width that you want. Now you have this animation. Pretty cool, huh? Well, that wraps up this tutorial. And since you've leveled up, I guess it's safe to say you've unlocked the prize, which is the project file for this video. That's a win in my book. And I'm excited to see what you do with these techniques. And if you make something amazing with these, link it to me in the Discord. I'm trying to keep the Discord booming. So if you join, ask some questions, link some of your creations, or join the voice channels, I'll be there. And thank you for watching, and also thank you for 2,000 subscribers. I know I've been MIA, but I'm working on something that I will release to you all as a token of my appreciation. Definitely make sure to share this video and turn on post notifications, as I may try to be streaming soon. Also comment, should I stream on YouTube or should I stream on Twitch? Which one would you guys like? I may do a poll, throw it up on the community page, and you guys go ahead and vote on that. I can stream on either one fine, but I do want to know what preference you guys would have too. Anyways, again, thank you all for watching, and as always, this is Mo. Stay creative, never stop learning, and peace out.